mobility. There we go.
It's a complex topic.
Nothing ever really goes away.
But that's just our opinion. Hi, everybody. I'm Ben Heller. This is James Speirs. James, how you doing today?
Very well, Ben. How are you doing yourself?
I'm doing very well. Everyone, welcome to Global Mobility Uncensored, the show where James and I rant for a minute at a time about a topic in global mobility. James, what are we talking about today?
Ben, today is the article I shared with you, the Mercer paper, The 7 Dilemmas Facing Global Mobility in the Future. It's a good read. We will put a link to the article in here as well, down at the bottom, so you can click on that. We're going to focus on number 2 today. It's something that you and I have spoken about in the past, and that's job mobility versus employee mobility.
Okay. All right. As usual, I will put a minute on the clock. You ready, James?
Ready.
Let's do this. Go.
So for me, this was a great article, and it talks about, and it expands on what we were talking about maybe a year ago from today, being virtual assignments, being, the thing of the future. I've kind of felt there's a place for virtual assignments, a time and a place, and I think for me, virtual assignments were always something that talent acquisition would probably use more readily, depending on sector. Once again,
Sure.
I know that we've gone through that. What this article does, and what I liked about it, because there are some complexities to doing things virtually as well, is it's really broken it up nicely. It's talked about all the different things. I mean, there's third country assignments that I wasn't too sure and heard about for the first time, which I quite liked. But it goes through the pros and cons of moving an employee versus moving a job to an employee. And what I really like about it is it takes a weighed approach. Everybody was jumping on the bandwagon a year ago about these virtual assignments and how cool they would be and how we can do everything virtually. And there are some serious pitfalls that need to be taken into consideration about payroll, HR, tax, immigration, all those sort of things, and I'm over all those sort of things that it highlights, and whether you are ready to do something like that. So I'm going to call it quits there. I've gone over.
That's cool.
Ben,
If you put a minute on the clock for me.
Starting.
Okay. So I thought it was a great article, and essentially at a high level, what it's showing is that there is now a spectrum of global mobility, and the type of assignments and short-term, long-term, permanent one-way, that's still going to remain, but there's going to be more and more different types of global mobility. I think we're honestly at one of the most exciting times in our industry's history, because never before has there been an event that forced us to rethink how we do things. And right now, every corporation out there is making choices, and those choices are really experiments, they're tests. And what I think is happening now is that like global mobility and like moving the person to the job is also like, we're also seeing move the job to the person. And there's a lot of different ways to accomplish that. And there's a lot of different new solutions that are coming to market that are attempting to solve this in an interesting way. And I don't think anyone knows where it's going to end up. And that's part of what makes this exciting. I'm over my time, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's a complex topic. You can't really get to it in a minute, but
it's expanding what's opening. I mean, nothing ever really goes away, does it? You just get another tool to add to your toolbox. The other tools are good, faithful tools that we know how to use, but there's those little jobs that we really need to get a specialized tool to be able to apply, and that's what's coming in now.
Yeah, and I think that was an interesting element. I thought that the third country assignment as a recruiting policy, essentially going and having someone go to the home location, the main office, and go there for short-term period of time, basically business travel, connect with the people in that office, and then go to Jamaica or work in Barbados, wherever they don't create horrible taxable events. But like, I don't think France is going to be on most companies' allowed locations, because that's going to create issues. So I think France is actually going to be a loser in this, and other countries like that. But I think that third country mobility, like third country assignment type option, was really interesting. I also think that gig work in remote environments is going to explode. I have no doubt that companies are going to look at, okay, what's the path of least resistance here? How can I accomplish my goals? And I can find, okay, this person wants to live there. I don't have an entity there. Gig assignment. Let's sign them up. And that creates some unique challenges and needs, but all of that's sort of an opportunity for those in our industry and those that serve the HR. But that's what...
On that, I mean, just looking at that, and some of our colleagues that work in the destination services arena have, cottoned onto this, and especially in that sort of environment, in the gig environment, where how do you administer payroll in a location where you don't have any entity set up or anything like that? And some of the DSPs out there have actually started taking on that role where they administer the payroll on behalf of the client and get everything done. So it's interesting. It's giving growth revenues for players in our industry already. It's becoming more of a solution-driven market against not being able to do something. Well, let's see how we can do something now, which is, as you say, truly exciting times.
Absolutely. I think that's a great place to end. But that's just our opinion. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So please put a comment below. On behalf of James, I'm Ben Heller, and this is James Speirs. Thanks for joining us today. Hope to see you again soon.
Cheers.